In the dim light of the imperial chamber, a frail emperor, Isaac Komnenos, summoned his chosen successor, Constantine Doukas. The room was deathly quiet, save for the crackling torches. As Isaac placed the imperial ring into Constantine's trembling hands, he whispered, "You will not rule with the sword, but with wisdom." Constantine bowed, promising to bring peace. But in Byzantium, peace was an illusion, as fragile as glass. The next morning, the people of Constantinople flooded the hippodrome, roaring Constantine's name. Clerics praised him. Senators hailed him. The scholar emperor had arrived. Yet behind the adoring crowds stood the powerful Doukas family, one of the empire's mightiest dynasties. Their influence could lift Constantine to the heavens, or drag the entire empire into the abyss. Constantine's first months on the throne were calm. He reduced military taxes and dismissed veteran commanders he deemed too ambitious. He strengthened the power of his fellow aristocrats and surrounded himself with scholars, monks, and trusted relatives. To the court, he seemed wise. To the people, he appeared gentle, but to the army, he appeared dangerous. For beyond the eastern horizon, a storm was brewing. The Seljuk Turks, a nomadic force unlike any Byzantium had ever faced, were on the move. They didn't want peace, they wanted conquest. But Constantine, buried under scrolls and advised by academics, believed diplomacy alone would be enough. Armies are expensive, he would say, and war only brings chaos. And so, veteran troops were disbanded. Frontier fortresses were neglected, and experienced commanders were ignored. The empire's shield grew thin, dangerously thin. In 1064, the storm broke. The Seljuk Sultan Alp Arslan unleashed his forces upon Byzantine Armenia. Cities burned, churches collapsed, and families fled into the mountains. The entire eastern frontier trembled. Terrified messengers galloped to Constantinople, arriving breathless. "Your Majesty, Ani, the fortress city. The Turks have taken it." Ani, known as the city of 1001 churches, a jewel of the East, was gone. Constantine sat frozen on his throne. He felt the immense weight of the loss, but his advisors urged caution. "We cannot risk open war," they insisted. "We must rebuild slowly, conserve our resources." But with every passing month, the Seljuks grew bolder, their rage striking deeper and deeper into imperial territory. The empire desperately needed strength. Instead, it was given hesitation. Back in Constantinople, Constantine ruled differently from his predecessors. He hosted theological debates in the palace, rewarded scholars with lavish gifts, and listened more to monks than to his generals. His wife, Empress Eudokia Makrimbolitisa, a brilliant woman with sharp political instincts, often warned him. "Constantine," she would plead, "the empire stands on a knife's edge. We must strengthen our armies." But the emperor would just shake his head, calm and confident. "I want to be remembered as a bringer of peace, not a maker of widows." His council of scholars nodded in approval, while his generals clenched their teeth in silent frustration. But the world beyond the palace walls did not care for peace. By 1066, disasters were piling up. Revolts erupted in the Balkans. Tax collectors reported empty treasuries. The army began to whisper of rebellion, and the Seljuk raids reached as far as Caesarea in the heart of Anatolia. The emperor aged quickly. His beard grew gray, and his steps slowed. The stress of rule, of a war he'd tried so hard to avoid, was crushing him. One night, unable to sleep, Constantine stood on a balcony overlooking the shimmering waters of the Bosporus. He thought of the emperors before him, warriors, conquerors, ruthless leaders. He sighed, whispering to himself, "I am not them." But history does not bend for the gentle. In May of 1067, Constantine's health finally collapsed. Knowing death was near, he He summoned his wife Eudokia and his eldest son Michael to his bedside. "Rule wisely," he whispered, his voice faint, "and protect the empire." Eudokia squeezed his hand, tears streaming down her face. "You have done what you could," she said. "Perhaps," he murmured, his last words hanging in the air, "but perhaps the empire needed a different man." With a final breath, Constantine X Doukas, the scholar emperor, was gone. The bells of Constantinople rang out in mourning, but far to the east, the Seljuks heard something else in their toll: opportunity. Just a few years later, the weakened empire would suffer its greatest military catastrophe at the Battle of Manzikert, a disaster rooted in the policies of Constantine's reign. His legacy remains debated. Was he a gentle, peace-loving emperor born into a brutal age, or a scholar who abandoned the sword just when the empire needed it most? Perhaps history remembers him as both. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories from the annals of history.